Hello, and welcome to the Transcending the Inevitable podcast. My name is Jessa Sanchez, and I will be your host on this channel. Today, we are celebrating Women's History Month by highlighting an incredible American woman who's made a major impact in the world of film. Her name is Sophia Stewart, and she's the creative genius behind the Matrix and Terminator franchises. Sophia Stewart is a child prodigy, a talented screenwriter, author of several books, which includes The Matrix and Terminator stories, a poet, and an attorney. Sophia graduated from the City University of New York and went to grad school at the University of Southern California in the 80s. She is from New York City and has a degree in journalism with double majors in law and psychology. She wrote The Third Eye Matrix, a groundbreaking science fiction copyrighted book and script that was later adapted as the Matrix and Terminator films. Her work won numerous awards, and her film work won 4 Oscars. Even though she faced controversy over the origins of the franchises, Stewart persisted in fighting for true recognition and compensation for her groundbreaking work. And in 2014, she won a historic legal victory in a Utah federal court that validated her as the creator and owner of the Matrix and Terminator franchises. The court awarded her $3.5 billion in liens and almost $500,000 in attorney fees, solidifying her place in film history as a trailblazing American Black woman whose visionary work has inspired millions, if not billions, around the world. Fans of the Matrix and Terminator franchises know just how big of an impact these films have had on popular culture, and we owe a lot to Sophia Stewart for her groundbreaking work. So let's take a moment during Women's History Month to honor her legacy and recognize the impact that Black women have had on the world of film. So I forgot to mention that during this interview, me and Sophia had a little bit of technical issues, but I tried to take out all the glitches as much as possible. So this conversation is a little bit controversial. For some reason, the internet doesn't like me talking about it. So I've had a lot of issues with glitches on the calls with her, but I'm hoping that later on we're going to be able to do another interview in person so that it's not as glitchy. So please be aware that it's a little bit glitchy, and towards the end of the call, for some reason, the call just wouldn't let us converse. We couldn't hear each other, and then there was a point where she couldn't hear me, and I had to type out the questions, and then for some reason I was stopped from being able to type to her, and that's how the call ended. Just a forewarning. All right, we made it to our call. Hi, Sophia. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited. All right, let's just jump right into it so we can get all the questions in there.
Excellent.
Tell us your story. How did you get here to the point where you're fighting Hollywood?
Well, I'm not fighting Hollywood anymore. I won September the 25th, 2014.
Yeah, I meant like for the
And that was a long time ago. Like I said, I won a long time ago, 2014.
yeah.
And in Utah federal courts, my second court case, the first 2003 California court case got dismissed because my attorneys failed to enter the evidence in. So the judge just dismissed the case, but she didn't dismiss it with prejudice, meaning that I could carry on it again. And I chose this time because the FBI told me that the most crooked judges and lawyers were in California, and that I should take my court case elsewhere. And I did. I took it to Utah, where I won September the 25th, 2014. I sued 4 attorneys, the ones that were sent by Warner Brothers to sabotage my case. And then Warner Brothers brought several more, and they added the legal fees. And they thought that if I lose the case and be stuck with the legal fees of almost $500,000, that they could get the copyrights to The Matrix and Terminator that are worth billions of dollars, multi-millions, billions of dollars, something like $11.4 billion, what The Matrix and Terminator film franchises are worth today.
It's huge.
Yeah, very huge. My work has won has won 4 Oscars, and Warner Brothers have offered me $30 million for the shooting script to the Matrix 4 movie. And when I turned them down, they put out a resurrection, regurgitation, resuscitation movie that was not the Matrix, and it flopped. It lost $100 million.
Right.
And fans were asking for their monies back. It was not Neo, it was John Wick. It wasn't Trinity, it was Tiffany with her husband and 2 kids. No Morpheus, some naked man with the Joker's old suit on. Not Niobe with Jada Pickett's character, but some old general that was in the 80s with dreadlocks. Anyway, it was a joke. That's all it was, a simple joke and a nightmare for The Matrix and Terminator fans globally.
Okay. So would you consider yourself a psychic?
No, but I am the oracle. I
Yeah.
put myself in my work. I'm a visionary, a seer, a shaman, because my grandmother's full-blooded Cherokee from the Indian reservations of Missouri.
That's amazing.
And I also have a Spaniard blood, Portuguese from Portugal, because my grandfather was full-blooded Portuguese, and both of them couldn't speak English. They had to create a language of love so they could communicate when they got married.
That's amazing.
So this was wonderful. And so I'm being a shaman, an oracle, the oracle that you see in the first Matrix. I put myself in my work. I copied off of the other ones, Stan Lee of Marvel. Remember, he was one that put himself in his work. And Stephen King, of course, and Spike Lee. We were all copying off of Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock was this great producer back in the 60s, and he put himself in his work, and we thought it was magnificent. And
Yeah.
that's where we got it. That's where we got it from.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. Did you see the story in your visions?
No, I did not see the stories. I saw Star Wars and up in Harlem at the Apollo Theater when the Sutton brothers used to own it, and used to own the Apollo. And they would, have these events and concerts, and people from everywhere coming there to sing and to act and entertain. And they opened it up like a movie house the other part of the time. And I saw Star Wars and the Wars from Heaven, and I saw Darth Vader, which Lucas tell you on YouTube how Satan, or the devil, Darth Vader, fell from the light side to the dark side, and how Luke and Leia are his children. So when I saw Star Wars, I was thinking about, oh my God, what about the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine, which that's what the Matrix and Terminator are really about, Yes, which is excellent.
Okay, so do
So,
you think that your stories come from the Akashic records?
well, I've seen the Akashic records. I know all about it, and I'm talking about it in Matrix 4, the fourth
Yeah.
installment. And when people read it, they're going to get a deeper understanding of those records and what it all means. But no, I just visualized a little science fiction story about how the artificial intelligence, the AI, would enslave mankind, God's children, us coming out of the matrix, the womb, and to what we call this physical domain, the earth. But the only way you can get here is through the woman's stargate, her portal called the womb, the matrix. The matrix is a 7,000-year-old Latin word for the woman. It's mentioned five times all in Scripture. In the King James's Bible, 3 times in Exodus, 2 times in Numbers. Exodus 34th chapter, 19th verse. God says, "He who opens up the matrix are mine, born of a woman." In other words, I came out of the womb of a woman, not out of the ass of a man. The only thing that's going to come out of the ass of a man is feces. That's what's going to come out of anybody's ass. But the womb of a woman is a stargate, a portal to bring babies into the physical dimension called Earth. Yeah, we are the co-creators with God or with nature to bring forth the babies.
New life.
So there is life. There are no Dr. Frankenstein that can give a man a feeding tube called an umbilical cord. There is no doctor, that's right, without the feeding tube for 9 months, you can't feed the baby inside of the womb, the matrix. If this feeding tube dries up, what never happens, there's no way you can feed the baby would die.
Right, exactly.
I told a man that. A man was trying to tell me that men can have babies. I said, that's the biggest lie that Dr. Frankenstein has ever told everyone. Yes. I said, because you have to have breast milk to feed the baby, and all Dr. Frankenstein can give you is some tumors, which are called false growth, and they can turn cancerous if you hit them or you corrupt them in any kind of way. Yes. But they're not going to bring forth any milk. You're not going to, with estrogen is manufactured through a woman's body, and testosterone is going through a man's body. There's no way testosterone is going to expand a womb for 9 months. You need estrogen to be manufactured through a woman's body to do that. So a man doesn't have what it takes to have a baby. I'm sorry. Take that lie someplace and stick it. Yeah. Stick it somewhere.
I think Arnold was the one that convinced people that you could have a baby as a man.
Now, how could Arnold do that? What did he do to convince people?
He did it in the
He
movie.
was playing the Terminator, trying to kill you. He wasn't trying to help you to have a baby. He was trying to terminate you. Terminator. Terminator End Time Revelation.
But he was also
That's where the Terminator come from.
Right.
He was what?
I think Arnold was also in another movie. I'm forgetting what it was called, but it was like this science fiction kind of movie where like they were trying to make a man pregnant and it was him and he had a baby.
Oh, well, that was a joke. We're gonna line that one up as comedy.
Take that stuff seriously,
Well, this guy took it serious. He and I kind of had a little argument, and I told him he was insane. He needed to go read up on anatomies and talk to some doctors, some real doctors that are not going to lie to him.
Do you think
because without the woman, there would be the earth could not be populated without women.
Right. Do you think that they purposely do that so that I don't know. I'm forgetting the question now. Do you think that they're purposely doing that to confuse people?
No, they're just the biggest liar of all time. God says the devil, the evil, that's what a devil is. Come here to lie, kill, and steal. And the greatest weapon he had was deception, because he deceived the whole world.
Right,
exactly. To believe in a lie.
So what?
No, it's nothing but deception.
Well, my question is, do you think that it's possible that these movies like The Matrix and that one movie that says that men can have babies in the future, do you think that this is actually detrimental to people's psyches if they're not aware of the human
All
anatomy?
man wants to do is kill them out.
Yeah.
Because to sodomize is attempted murder. It's still on 16 books of law. To sodomize anyone is attempted murder. So all you're doing, and even with the AIDS drugs, and all of them, they have billions of lawsuits. People. They were created to kill, not to heal. I'm sorry with the truth. A lot of people can't handle the truth.
Yeah,
but God has to give you his side of the story. You got to learn that man is the biggest liar of all time, and he comes to deceive you. And I'm sorry he has deceived you, but that's your own fault, because God says, my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. And what he means about his people, those who are aspiring towards truth, is what God is talking about. It is not about a skin. It is not about a skin color. It is all about the truth or a lie here.
Yes.
There's nothing else going on here.
So in your book, it was way in the future, about like 90 years from now. Do you think that
It's also in the movies, because the movies and the books are one and the same. Judge Morrow in California ruled that all I had to do was to win the court case was to put in the movies.
okay.
They're not separated. The books, the movies, the scripts, they're all one and the same.
Right.
You see the Maze book, the Maze movie, the Gravity book, the Gravity movie, Lords of the Ring book, Lords of the Ring movie, the Hobbit book, the Hobbit movie. J.R.R. Tolkien, who's passed away, the late author of those works. Cloud Atlas, David Mitchell's book, the movie, the book. V for Vendetta, the English writer Alan Moore's book, and the movie. So
Yeah.
all great movies come from books and scripts that are adapted from the books into scripts.
Right.
People need to know that.
Right, yeah. But what I'm saying is, so I noticed that in your book, it's farther into the future, and in the movies, they made it like this around this year, 2023. And
well, excuse me. A movie is only 1 hour and 36 minutes.
Yeah.
No more than 2 hours and 10 or 15 minutes. It's only a fraction out of the book.
Yes.
You can only put a fraction on the screen. This is why people go and get the book, so they can get more details, because they're not going to get everything out of a movie. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
if people have seen the book, they go look at the movie. If they've seen the movie and not read the book, they go out and buy the book so they can see all the details.
Yeah, that's exactly
what they're missing.
That's exactly what I do. I actually used to ask people if The Matrix was based on a book, and people told me it wasn't way back when I was like a teenager. So I was looking for the books, and I was not informed. A lot of
there's 4 books on the Matrix and Terminator that I've created. 4 books on Matrix and Terminator. A lot of people were not aware, because my copyrights are 81, 83, and 84. So the book has been out for a long time before the first Terminator movie came out. The first Terminator movie came out October the 26th, 1984. The first Matrix movie came out March the 31st, 1999. My copyrighted scripts and books were already out in 81, 83, and February the 6th of 84. So this is why.
Yeah.
People don't do the research. You got to do the research. People don't know. Sure. They can't say Matrix and Terminator are not come from any books, because they don't know. They have a lack of knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
Until they got to say, I don't know. They can't say, no, it doesn't, because they don't know that.
I truly believe that we're behind on education for sure. Where I went to school in the Philippines, I had to go to an international school to get a good education. But in America, it seems that we're behind like 4 years at least.
Oh, America is the only place that go to school for 12 years. I
Yeah,
skipped the high school. I
yeah,
didn't need it and took the New York Regents, went into college
that's
and got the degree. They're what we call prodigies. I'm a prodigy. It's
yeah,
like the little girl that's 12 years old. She get her college degree. She skip all of this, high school and everything, and some junior high, and she go work for NASA. Because we're polymath, so we don't need to go to school for 12 years. It's
right.
redundant.
Hmm.
Nobody needs to go to school for 12 years
Right.
unless you're just not getting it at all.
Yeah.
You look overseas, they don't go to school. The Asians, they don't go to school any 12 years. That's ridiculous.
No, I think that that's what we're missing here in America too, like the fact that like not everybody is meant for the same thing and to learn the same things. But I feel like things like biology, like basic biology and like basic math is so vital for somebody to be able to just make it out in the world right now.
Well, the universal language is mathematics, not
Exactly.
spells or spelling or words or witchcraft. Spells or spelling, you got your butt whipped if you did not have your spelling, and that's where spells and witchcraft comes from. You got whipped, but they didn't want you to learn math because you would be a co-creator with God, because we create with math, with energy, with vibrations, with frequencies. That's how we build ships. This is how we build houses. The architect through math, the engineer, the car, the bridge by the architect. Do you see the little worker bees and the little worker ants in the plants, manufacturing, or the creator of the designer who's cutting the patterns, of the clothes? Everything is mathematically based. When you look at your driving license, the license plates on your car, your house notes, how long it's going to take you to get someplace, the hours, the minute, the times, the days, the weeks, the months, the years, everything is mathematically based. So when you learn math, you are a co-creator. But if you're learning spells or words and you're not going to start creating. To
Right.
create the bridge, you need math. To create the car, you need math. To
Yeah.
create the house, you need math.
Everything's a calculus.
Quantum physics, that's right. Calculations, calculus. Quantum physics, when you see Trinity up in the air jumping, you know what I'm talking about? A gravity. What goes up comes down. Do you see what I'm talking about?
The
Or
laws of nature.
geometry,
Yeah.
ancient geometry. In a straight line, you're going to get someplace faster than curving around, going straight, a straight line, geometry,
Yeah.
trig. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All of this is math, but you never think about it because they don't express it.
Well, I think about it all the time, but because I'm
Well, that's
weird.
because you are a mathematician, a
Yeah.
polymath, well versed in many maths, and there's a lot of people like that. But
Yeah.
the geniuses are as many geniuses, but the prodigy are rare. They are rare beings. They're polymath, well versed into many maths, and they are what you call co-creators. They advance civilizations. They explain what is already here in the past and how it is fused with the future, or what it is all about, and how we can uh, capitalize off of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, what is the meaning of existence right now for you? Like, do you do anything on top of writing and exploring?
I do many things. I do events, I do podcasts, I do speaking events, I mentor students, I do many interviews. I've done over 5,000 interviews.
It's
I
amazing.
travel, I'm always creating and writing more Matrix and more Terminator. The fourth installment that has not been out is worth, Warner Brothers offered me $30 million But some people have offered me 40 to 100 million for the shooting script that's going to make millions and billions of dollars. It's all original work, never been on any screen ever. And that is the type of work that makes millions and billions of dollars.
Do you feel like it's our duty as humans to like take care of charity work if we're receiving so much abundance from the universe?
Well, it doesn't hurt to edify and minister grace into the hearer. It doesn't hurt to go out and donate money and time and love to people and compassion and to help others elevate their consciousness or elevate their lives or elevate their situations. It is a wonderful thing giving. But as you become a cheerful giver, you must also be a cheerful receiver.
Yes.
And you got to balance out, because when you give, you must receive. When you receive, you must give. But you want to balance out, because if you just take, and don't give, you have to leave here. If you give and don't receive, you have to leave here. Everything was created with balance. And if you don't balance out and you just be a taker or a giver, you have to leave here. It's all about giving and receiving. The more you give, the more you receive. It's about love. It's about healing. All the great wealth in the world has just been accumulated in the world. When people left here, no matter what billionaires or zillionaire they were, when they left here, they cannot take it with them. Not any of the great pharaohs could take any wealth, no one. So it's all meant for you to utilize to help heal and build and create and to help others, because you can't take it with you. You came here with nothing and you're going to leave here with nothing. You came here naked and you're leaving here naked, because even if somebody buried you, your clothes are going to disintegrate at some point on the skeletal bones.
Exactly.
As you came with nothing, you leave with nothing. The moment somebody is being birthed, somebody is dying. The moment somebody is dying, someone is being birthed. It is a perfect balance that God set up here. And he doesn't need any help from anybody. He doesn't need no help from Bill Gates. He doesn't need any help from whoever's trying to kill people with COVID.
No.
He doesn't need any help at all. Everything is a perfect balance of love and leaving and coming.
I love that. So do you have a charity that you support?
I support the people. You don't have to have a charity. Charity begins at home.
Yeah.
And where is home? The people that you love and your communities. So supporting your community and giving love, because the other ones were created for tax write-off. You can do something for God, or you can do something for a write-off.
Right.
But if you do natural things, a lot of people gave and never told. Never told anyone at all what they gave or how much they gave. It's not about bragging. It's not about somebody knowing what you're doing. It's about what you do to help and heal others and give love to them.
Yeah.
It's not about people knowing. It's about God knowing and seeing. He's the only one that needs to know.
So what are the significance of the numbers like 11, 11, 11, and like 333 for you?
1111 is a very powerful number. The Masonic, if you go into the Masons, the Masonic or the Illuminati's, 33 is a master number, 22 is a master number, and 11. And when you reach the 33rd level in the Masonic halls or the Illuminati's, you have to decide on who you're going to worship. You're going to worship God, or you're going to worship the evil one, or worship evil. So numbers are very important. They give a story. 1111 is a very powerful number. That's a master number. And some numbers like 711, 21 here in Vegas for gambling, lucky numbers. Or when you throw in the die, you throw in, a 7 or 11 or 5 and a 6.
You're not muted anymore. Okay.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
It says your speaker is off.
That's really weird. I never. Hello?
Jessa, it says your speaker is off.
My speaker? My microphone?
Hello, hello. Anyway, I hope people can hear me because they're saying the speaker is off right now.
I can hear you.
Hello? Wow, that's crazy because it says the speaker is off on your end. So I'm just letting you know. But anyway, like I was telling people when I was switching out, that it's very important that you read the Matrix books and get the continuations of the Matrix. That is very, very important for all those who love Matrix and Terminator. You go to my website, truthaboutmatrix.com or matrixterminator.com. Visit my website and get the 4 books and get more Matrix and more Terminator. Very, very important for the people to really find out the truth and see the world that you live in is based on energy, frequencies, vibrations, numbers, the universal language, mathematics. The only way you can come here if you're female is through the matrix, the womb, including the female animals. They are the ones, even if they're surrogates, even if we're surrogates, this is the only way babies and other animals are born, through the female, through her womb, her matrix, her stargate. Men's are not built that way. There's nothing a Dr. Frankenstein can do to change the anatomy of a man. It's not going to happen. If he cuts off the male's penis, well, that's the end for the male. He cannot give any seeds. There will be no babies coming from him. That will be the end for him. Because everything was created for perfect timing, for perfect creations. And when man throws any of that off, then it sets off cataclysms. And these cataclysms are taking out the people who are wasting time. They're not obeying order or perfect balance. They're not doing what they came here to do. And so if you are a consumer and you're just consuming, mean taking, you got to go. And if you are just giving and you're not receiving, you have to leave here. Everything here in the matrix, or the reality we live in, is about balancing out and staying true to what God's laws, which are invisible laws that governs the earth, governs our whole environment. I hope that you're going to get the speaker back on because I'm waiting on those questions.
Can you hear me?
Maybe you can text some of the questions and I can answer, because people somehow they've taken the speaker is off, and I don't understand because it's not on mic. Is there any way you can text me some of the questions or just ask me some questions so I can tell people more on the Matrix and Terminator? Oh, I know you have it on, but every time when we're talking about some really important stuff, oh yeah, what I wrote was the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness. So JC, John Connors, Jesus Christ, grows up to be Neo, one and the same in the Matrix. Neo is an anagram backwards for the one, Neoone. So what I wrote was about this second coming, because when you look in the Bible, you'll see the first coming by those authors, the first coming of Christ. Well, what I wrote was what would happen in the future if something happened here. And I knew that in the future we was going to have this artificial intelligence called the AI, and that it was going to try to enslave mankind. So when you look at the Terminator End Time Revelation is the beginning of the epic story, because the machines in the future, here's the oracle's prophecy that a baby is going to be born, and that this baby is actually going to take out the machines. And the machines, of course, they do not want to be taken out. They want to dominate. They want to kill. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that the Terminator knows that in the future, who's going to have this baby is Sarah Connor. So they want to kill her. So JC, John Connors, Jesus Christ, who grows up to be Neo, one and the same in the Matrix, will not be born. Now, ask that question again about the second coming and the consciousness again. Would you put that back on the screen? And then I will definitely answer that.
So is the second coming
Could you put that back on the screen?
in the human psyche
About consciousness.
that's awakening?
Anyway, so the second coming is in the human psychic conscious awakening. I don't think the second coming or the consciousness or it's in your, your sleep. I think that people are always aware of what's going on, that you're consciously aware. And some people are asleep. Some people want to be asleep, and some people want to be conscious about what's going on so they can make changes. But there are other people who just do not want to do anything. They just want to consume. They just want to dominate. They just want to enjoy or eat or do drugs or do, whatever is entertainment for them, which is fine because until you awaken, then everything has to happen that way. That is what life is about, choices and free will. So if you want to use your free will to do whatever you want until you're ready, then that's fine. But for those who are on a path, for those who want to do something, let's do that. Do we have the power to change our DNA? I don't think you have the power to change your DNA. The DNA is consumed of the body. The body is transportation. If you do change your DNA, it has to do with your blood lineage. Back in the day, people, when they got married, they would do blood tests because certain DNA doesn't match up. Certain blood types either kill or will kill the baby. The negative bloodlines going up against the positive bloodlines, the monkey rhesus blood would definitely kill the PA, the RH. It's an RH factor, a negative. It'll kill the positive blood, the O positive blood, or the O or the like A or AB positive or B positive bloodlines would be devastated by the O negative bloods, which is the rhesus monkey bloodlines. Oh no, you will never be able to change your DNA with your mind and that's never going to happen because the mind does control the body. That's true, but God's children are three-dimensional beings. The first body is the spirit, blood, water, and spirit. That's the shadow body or the spiritual body or the astral body. And that's an invisible body. And then the second body is the physical body, which takes 9 months or 36 weeks. And that's a physical body. And it's pretty much set up for the environment in the physical domain of this earth. And the third body is the soul or the seed that attaches to the physical body at 9 months or 36 weeks. You have the 3D bodies, and those are God's children. Now, man has created his own children in the lab. They're called lab rats. They're test tube babies, petri dish babies, artificially inseminated babies, gender benders, gender manipulated, All of these babies or seedless or soulless, because man is not able to create the soul. He can create the physical body, which is transportation. When he go into the laboratory, he can infuse it with animal bloodlines. And this is why some people have O negative bloods and why they have animal bloodlines or generational curses of the blood. But when you go on the Bible, that's what they're talking about. But you cannot create a child of God that is three-dimensional, the astral body, the physical body, and the seed and the soul, which attaches to the physical body at the 12th, is at the 12th week. And this is why a doctor will not perform an abortion. Well, if you look in 2001 and 911, that was a time of the World Trade Buildings. When the World Trade Buildings both was destroyed, was the date you just saw. That was the termination or the end of the World Trade Buildings and the World Exchange Bank that we know in New York City. It was called 911. And this happened September the 11th, 2001. Everybody look it up. Neo never expired, but the World Trade Buildings did.
You can't hear me yet.
Prophecy.
Okay.
On the back of a bill, I think a $20 bill. You can see it. It probably was prophesied like in Revelations, but a lot of prophecies are never talked about. Some people don't even know what prophecy really is, or how great it is, or how often it happens here on earth here. It's pretty amazing. Are there any other questions?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
This is the most amazing thing, that the speaker would be off and you not asking the questions that you've written out and that you need to ask. But, I can still see the screen. If you have any other questions, please let me speak on it.
I am.
Anyway, like I was saying, that the Terminator is the prequels or the beginning of the epic story, and the Matrix is the future. It's past, present, and future time travel. Wow, that's incredible. Anyway, I the host is being banned, so this is why a lot of her messages are not coming across. So I'm just going to speak on some more of it, and then I guess then that should be it. But anyway, I had a wonderful time being here, and you need to get the books. She has one more question that she wants answered before I start talking about the promotions of my books and getting more matrix and looking at the prophecy. She wanted to know, are they trying to erase history here? Well, every time, if you go back and look at all the ancient civilizations that have been erased here, they have done that. They've erased history and created a whole new thing of history. And they were always coming up with new terminologies like the word African American. It doesn't exist. It used to be what people call Afro Americans, talking about their hair. And before that, it was Negro, nigger, Negro, colored people, colored man, black, Afro Americans, and now African Americans. This is just changing up history, just like they did with the maps. If you go look at the ancient maps, different parts of the country and land maps had all different names from what you see today. So yes, the answer is yes, they are trying to erase history. They are trying to recreate a new history and a new reset of people, and to brainwash constantly and kill out all the people who know what's going on. So you should never be surprised what can happen here at any given time. I love this show. Thank you very much for having me on the show. Again, people, if you want to know the truth about the Matrix and Terminator, get the books, truthaboutmatrix.com, matrixterminator.com. Get the Matrix 4 book for more Matrix. Get the Third Eye book if you want to know the beginning and where these great movies come from. And then also get the other two books, the Matrix Trivia book and the Mother of the Matrix book, which is a tagline, but it tells you all about how it all began with the lies and how they wanted to take credit for my work that was already copywritten, already out and published in 1981, 83, and 84, before the Terminator movie ever came out, October the 26th, 1984, before the Matrix movie ever came out, March the 31st, 1999. Thank you for having me. We'll probably do a part two again. Love this, and I want to say bye-bye. And people, if you want to see more of this or hear more, it's going to be put on YouTube. So again, thank you for having me. It was a lovely show. Bye-bye.